Alright, how's it going, cunts? Now you'll notice real quick that I'm not doing my bullshit bogan voice like I usually do, because I never actually thought I'd be saying this, but today we're going to be going over some fucking what I think would theoretically fix Black Ops 4, because at the moment it's a bit of a fucking mess and all that bullshit that I'm sure you already know. Um, I've just been noticing lately that the game's sort of been going in a downward sort of spiral, mostly with the fucking microtransaction bullshit that they're doing. So I just wanted to give my 2 cents on the take and, um, what I would think bring a lot more people back to Black Ops 4. So I'm also coming from a PC player perspective. At the moment, at least in Australia, you cannot find a game of Blackout anywhere. You physically cannot find a game of Blackout at any time of day, and it sucks. I haven't been able to since the very launch of the game. It's not very fun. So, I was thinking if Blackout was always free, it would, compete with other games like Apex Legends. I know that's not really around too much anymore, but Fortnite is the other main one, Battle Royale. It would at least give people a reason to play, because at the moment, there's actually no one. It's really sad. Like, you'll see people in North America playing sometimes, but anywhere else, tough luck. Now, we have had free weekends in the past, and I wanted to mention that real quick. At least in places like Australia, where the internet speed is terrible, no one is going to want to download a 30 gigabyte game to play for a couple of days. So, to people thinking in Treyarch or whatever, oh, well, we've already done that and no one's playing anyway, well, it's not really an accurate gauge on how many players would come because, as I said, you'll get more players when the game is actually free. And, fucking, um, speaking of, like, separating the modes and whatever bullshit, I learned today that multiplayer is actually available for purchase separately. A guy was saying, "Oh, I don't actually have access to zombies or whatever." So I was thinking it could actually be a pretty good idea to make zombies a standalone mode as well that people can purchase separately because at the moment I know that there are some people who only play this game for the zombies, and I feel like they would at least get more individual purchases if they were able to, buy the game mode that they wanted. I know that Activision wouldn't really support it, but I mean, if multiplayer can have it, then why can't zombies? It'd at least bring people who want to try the newer titles, who've, maybe played Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2, but don't want to fork out, $90 for the fucking game. It's kind of absurd, and it would maybe get more people playing the game again. Now, this one is talked about a lot. Crossplay. I know they're doing crossplay for, I think, the next Call of Duty game that's coming out, Modern Warfare. Or at least, that's what I've heard. Now, I would really love to see crossplay come to Black Ops 4. I know they're not going to. They've already said that they're not going to, and it is really disappointing. But I would love it, because it not only would it help the Blackout player numbers, it would mean that you could actually find a game in multiplayer that isn't team deathmatch, and you'd actually be able to find games of zombies as well, because this was me searching a couple of months ago, but the only game of zombies that I could find was on 9, and people had no idea what they were doing. 9 is obviously the most newbie-friendly player. It's fucking, you know what I'm talking about. It's obviously the friendliest to new players, and barely anyone was playing it. You'd be lucky to find a single person. And if they expect to do things like, if they want their newer DLCs to be a success, for example, or if they want fucking people to actually play Rush mode, for example, then crossplay would just help everything, honestly. And the people who argue, oh, but the PC players would have an advantage. Well, in zombies, it's a bloody team-based game mode, so it wouldn't even matter. Um, and for the other game modes like multiplayer and Blackout, there's a simple solution. Just have an opt-in or opt-out system. For the console players, if it's just like, if you don't want to play with PC players, let them not. Let them fucking choose it. It'll still help the player numbers. And, that way everyone's happy. People actually are able to play the game that they purchased for, again, 90 fucking dollars Australian. I think that's how much I paid. And, yeah, I don't know. It's just, it upsets me. Now, the next little thing I wanted to mention, I'll just be cutting over to TF2 real quick because I'll be borrowing a few ideas that I know are in that game, namely a ping slider and weapon contracts. Alright, we're over to TF2 now. Now, as old as a game as this may be, it has some really good ideas, or at least some really good features that I'm happy that it has. It okay. I think I mentioned like in the last little fucking bit. In matchmaking settings here, you can see that you can set your ping limit. So mine's at 50, so I will only get local games. But late at night, like I think it's what fucking 12 o'clock at the moment. So let's have a look at. Okay, well, you're supposed to be able to see fucking the server, how many people are in it, whatever the fuck. But let's say, for instance, nobody in Australia is currently in a Valve server. Well, just up your ping limit to fucking 350 and bam, you can find it in Europe. Now, I know that this system is a little bit finicky with Battle.net because they have their own regions and shit, but at the moment, you can't find a game in America, like, at all in Black Ops 4. You can find some Singapore servers occasionally when the Australian servers are down, like they are at the moment, but you can't find you can't find an American server at all, which sucks considering you're in the same region. Um, my cat just jumped on top of my table. Might be able to hear him. If he feels like saying hello, then he will. But yeah, I feel like having a ping slider or at least some way to choose which sort of region or like what sort of servers you'd like to be into. I know VPNs can do that, but not everyone has the money for one. And I know obviously there would be some people who abuse it. Fucking region lock China was a meme back when PUBG existed. Whatever, you get what I mean. Now, I actually don't remember the other thing that I was going to say that TF2 does really well, so give me 2 fucking seconds. Alright, I'm here again. Now, contracts are a recent thing that have been added. They're in the latest update, which, funnily enough, was in 2017, not that recent. But if we go into Pyroland here, you'll see we've got some contracts that I've already completed, but what was really cool about this was it was very different to anything that TF2 had done in the past where weapons were only available through like a random drop. This allowed you to complete a set of challenges and be given a weapon as a reward for free. For example, this banana here is a weapon in this game, funnily enough. But as you can see, if you completed that objective there, the score points is heavy. Then if you did that for long enough, you would earn this weapon for free. And I think that this could be applied to Black Ops 4 really well. Like if they were to fucking, I don't know, let's say you got like a loaner version of a weapon, so you were loaned like the fucking switchblade or whatever, get like 100 kills with it and it can be yours to keep, for example. Or, I don't know, kills with assault rifles, some shit like that. I think contracts are a system that free-to-play games like this should adapt more. Just because it's user friendly, It gives everybody a chance. Now, obviously, a lot of games really aren't like that. They'd rather fucking just shoehorn you for money, which is kind of like Black Ops 4 is doing at the moment, eh? But that's not my point here. It's my point is that could be, or this could be a thing that they could do to bring people back into the game to, I don't know, make the whole fucking DLC weapon bullshit a bit easier. Even if you paid like fucking $5 for a weapon contract, people would be fine with that. It's sort of like how they have like their tier bullshit at the moment, where it's like, you buy the Richtofen bundle and you like have to earn 5 tiers to actually earn Richtofen. It'd sort of be like that, but with weapons, and I feel like that would be at least better than the current system that it has at the moment. Anyway, back over to fucking Black Ops 4 gameplay. Now here's another thing that I know Activision wouldn't really support, but taking all of the fucking garbage out of loot boxes would make so many people happy. Like, if they aren't going to take the weapons out of loot boxes and they're not going to give any other way to have it, then okay, but let's put it this way. If you didn't play the game from launch, and you haven't played in every single thing, you're bound to not have some of the weapons that everybody else has. Even then, the fucking loot box weapons and shit, I know I've just spoken about it, but it's just not fair. So if they're not going to, address that and make it easier for people to, or like have a guaranteed way of getting those weapons, at least make it so that the odds of pulling one from a loot box is actually decent. Because at the moment, the loot box is fucking filled with all of these bullshit blue tier skins that are just like palette swaps and all that fucking shit that nobody actually wants. It's all just fodder so that you have a rarer chance of getting what you actually want. It's the whole thing with gambling. I know that, so they're not going to do it, which sucks. Because, frankly, gambling shouldn't be in video games. It's absurd. At least not stuff that, is going to give you an advantage in game. Because, let's be honest, the new Stingray weapon and the fucking Vendetta that's been running around, they're insane. They're absolutely ridiculous weapons. They're like nothing that's, fucking been in the game before. It's just broken, and they're not going to do anything about it. It's the same thing that Black Ops 3 had. It's just absurd. So, at least if they take the bullshit stuff like skins and whatever out of the loot boxes, then people will have a bit better over time. Even if, even if you get like a Mark II weapon, people are still going to prefer that over a fucking blue tier fucking ruin war paint or some shit. Nobody wants that. Now, the other thing with the loot boxes is, I think this was a thing around the time of Operation Grand Heist. They added some skins and whatever that are individual for each weapon. So, let's say you get a street race camo, but it's only for the medics. It sucks. It was like that in Black Ops 3 as well. I know there are a few contract tier bullshit skins that you could get that were for every single weapon, but not for the loot box ones. And again, it's just another case of them filling up the loot boxes with bullshit, and you just have a less chance of, actually getting what you want, and it sucks. So if they were to change that and make it so that at least the skin would apply to every weapon, so many more people would be happy. I'm sure this has been said before as well, by the way, but I just figured I'd include it in the video. Now, again, talking about loot boxes, because it's one of the biggest fucking issues with this game. Them and all of the other shit you can buy from Blackjack's shop is absurd in how much it costs. Fucking, they need to do something about how expensive it is. I think Prestigious Key made a video on the $30 fucking sledgehammer that they were showing off. First of all, it's disgusting that they're showing off things that can only be, gotten through microtransactions as like content of an update. It's a fucking scam and they know it. But fucking, it's just ridiculous. Like, COD points is like, you get 500 COD points for $8 Australian. And I know USD is worth more than AUD, but still, it's absurd. Like, okay, for example, the Afterlife skin, I know they've brought back a few Black Ops 2 camos to use in Black Ops 4, and it's cool, sure, bring back the shit that people love. It's what they're doing with some of the weapons as well, like the Peacekeeper's Return and all that. But the difference is that the Afterlife camo in Black Ops 2, $3 AUD. Fucking cheap as chips. Whatever. I actually bought that exact skin because, funny enough, Black Ops 2 has about as many players as Black Ops 4 on PC. It's fucking hilarious. But the Afterlife camo in this game is 500 COD points, I believe, which was $8. It is a scam. It is ridiculous. So they either need to reduce the price of COD points, or they need to fucking halve or quarter everything that is in the store. It is absurd. Like, fucking $30 for a hammer, make it like $6. That's still absurd, but people would actually buy it then, and there wouldn't be a fucking uproar about it. Now, just gonna switch over to zombies for a moment. Now, I wanted to switch over to zombies real quick because I know a lot of the people in the zombies community aren't necessarily happy with how the game is at the moment. I know a lot of the content creators are on like a dry period where they're just not uploading Call of Duty, and that's fair enough. But to be honest, I don't think there's too much of an issue with Black Ops 4 Zombies at the moment. I believe that the reason people are getting burnt out is because they've been playing the same fucking game mode for 10 years straight. And it's like with addictions, If you want to keep on feeding addiction, you need constantly more and more and more, where what used to satisfy you no longer does, and I feel like the zombies community is like that in a way. Fucking ignore the fact that I'm just sitting still here. It's just between rounds, whatever. Um, that's just the way that I feel the zombies community is at the moment. Now, there are two things that I think could be improved upon. I know there have been some people who have mentioned the idea of giving better rewards for gauntlet mode. Gauntlets are honestly a bit of a pain in the ass. You may have seen that I speedran the unsinkable gauntlet, and that was difficult as all hell. Um, and all you get, like, technically, you get four things. You get 3 calling cards, one for each difficulty, and you get a fucking sticker, whatever, that you can use for your profile picture or emblem or whatever the fuck. It's it's really not worth how much time and effort you have to put into it. Sure, I understand that it's just optional content, whatever. It's like no other game had it. It's sort of just like a bonus feature of a map. It's cool. It's like it's content that ties you over, but I understand why some people don't feel any motivation to go and play that mode because it's just difficult. It feels like a grind a lot of the time, especially the Dead of the Night Gauntlet, which is the only gauntlet that I haven't finished yet, apart from the one that released like a couple of days ago on PC, the Ancient Evil one. The Dead of the Night Gauntlet is full on, like, you need to know everything about the map. It is not easy. It is called a gauntlet for a reason. And I am with the community in thinking that, you know, it would make sense if we maybe got a bit of a better reward for it. Like, maybe if you beat the gauntlet under a certain time, like how they do for the 9 fucking Dark Ops challenge. If you know, maybe beat a gauntlet in under an hour and 20 minutes, then you could get like a, I don't know. I don't know how people feel about face paints, but I think they're cool. I love my alien face paint from the first Halloween session, but I know some people really want like unique mastercrafts and whatever that you can only get in zombies, which is a cool idea, but I don't think that they'd do it. Now, the other thing that I wanted to say is I'm personally friends with a lot of people who just don't like Black Ops 4 Zombies full stop. They don't like the fact that a lot of the mechanics were changed from previous games, which is understandable. You know, I like Black Ops 4 Zombies. It's really fun. I think it's the most time I've put into zombies since I was a kid. Like, I've been playing since Black Ops 1, and would stay up all night with one of my friends playing it, and it was great times. Remember fucking around 40 Kino to Toten 2-player, we thought we were gods. But my point is people who have been playing for that long and have so much nostalgia to share about, you know, what the game mode is like, to have all of that suddenly change for really no reason at all, is, I can understand why people don't like that. So I had the idea, which would be I think would be a really good idea, is, like they do with multiplayer, a bare bones zombies mode. I think that a lot of people would really enjoy that. Even if it was only for the ether maps, it would be so you only have 4 perks, which would probably just be, you know, quick revive, speed caller, double tap, juggernog. You would have your normal grenade system, you won't have double pack, you won't have specialist weapons, you don't have gobble gums. I think so many people would be happy with that, that it would bring a lot of people back to zombies, because a lot of the maps in Black Ops 4 are really fun. And sure, you need to do some workarounds, like you need to either rework some quests or just like even have the main quest disabled, because I know some things rely on the specialist weapons and shit like that. But even just to, you know, be able to play for higher rounds with bare bones zombies, I think would bring back so much love for the game. Like, I just know one of my friends, Tiny I call him, he doesn't care if there are new perks and shit. He can't get used to the fact that the whole point system's been reworked. I know a lot of people say that they don't like the HUD. Just all that shit like that. It could just go. You could just play zombies, but simpler, like it was back in the day. Like, any map could be as simple as Kino to Toten, and people would love it. It wouldn't replace the main mode. I don't think that there's anything too wrong. I sort of treat them like different games, but I don't feel like there's anything too wrong with the base Black Ops 4. I feel like both can exist in harmony, but I feel like if people had that option, it wouldn't take too long to throw together. Even if fucking the Chaos Crew had the 4 perks that, Ether used to have, I'm sure people would love that, and I don't know, it would breathe some life back into the game. And it'd, like, create a cool challenge mode for some maps as well, like being able to play, I don't know, fucking Voyage of Despair with no Dying Wish or shit like that. People would love it, I'm sure. Um, there is one more thing that sort of crossed my mind, and that's people who complain about the perks and shit, not having any personality and whatever. There is a thing, but I don't really know because I'm not a programmer or anything like that. I think it would be cool if client side the perk machines would change and would have their own jingle like they used to. You could still choose your perks. I think that's a really cool feature that you can choose your perk loadout. But I think maybe if they somehow made it so that the perk machines, their like appearance and jingle were client side, I think that would also make a lot of people pretty happy. Because I mean, who wouldn't want to miss out on the chance to have like another absolute bop, like the fucking Who's Who or Tombstone jingle? I know those perks were shit, but I love the fucking jingles and whatever, and the machines and whatever. It was cool. But that's just me spitballing. That, fucking... I love this game, right? It's one of the games that I've put the most time into this year, and I honestly just want more people to play it. I want more people to enjoy it, and I want it to have a longer shelf life than other Call of Duty games do. I know they're only meant to have a 1-2 year life cycle, but I really wish it was more. And if any of these features were to be implemented into the game, I'd love it, honestly. But this has been Mac. Chef will probably be returning soon in future videos. I don't really know what I have planned for him, but thank you for watching all that good shit, and see you later, shitlords.